Today's lesson is on multiplication facts. We're going to review facts that we did the other day, and we're going to learn new ones, which we've already learned throughout the school year. We're going to review all of the fives. Remember, we count by fives to recall these facts. The next fact family that we're going to be doing is twos. So remember, we can either count by twos or we can look at the other number and double it. So double the 2, double the 3, double the 4, and we already know our doubles from addition. So that is another fact that we learned the other day. Well, actually, we've been learning it all year, but we focused on the other day. The next fact that we reviewed the other day in our lesson was 3. And I reminded you that in class we had learned to count by threes by using the points on our fingers. So you could use your fingernail, your joint where your finger bends, and then down at your knuckle as well. So that is how we counted by threes. All right, we're getting ready to move into some new facts, but they're not really new. We've been learning them all year long, but according to the Odysseyware lessons, these are new facts to us. So we are going to start with 6. When it comes to sixes, we already know 6 times 0, 6 times 1, 6 times 2. We did 6 times 3 the other day because we know 3 times 6. We did 6 times 5, and I believe we did 6 times 10. So look at the facts that we already eliminated just by our other lesson from the other day. So we're going to focus on the ones that we do already know. We know that 6 times 0 is the same as 0 times 6, and the answer is 0. We know that 6 times 1 is the same as 1 times 6, and the answer there is 6. We know that anything times 2, we take the other number and double that, and we double the 6. 6 plus 6 is 12. So 6 times 2 is the same as 2 times 6, and the answer is 12. So we double that 6 by adding that, and we are going to get 12. Okay, the next one is that we do know is 6 times 5. We know that we just count by fives 6 times. So 5 groups of 6 or 6 groups of 5. We know that that is the same answer to the product, and the answer is 30. All right, the next one, we already know this one, but we're going to talk about it. We did it the other day. Is 6 times 6 magic tricks. Abracadabra 36. So that is one that we have listed that we do already know. So we know that's one of Mrs. Wergo's favorite rhymes. And the last one is 6 times 10 is the same as 10 times 6. We simply count by tens, and the product to 6 times 10 and 10 times 6 is 60. Look at some rhymes. We know that 8 times 3 and 6 times 4 both turn into 24. 8 times 3 and 6 times 4 both turn into 24. And 6 times 4 is 24, and 4 times 6 is 24. You flip-flop those numbers, and your product remains the same. Again, my favorite rhyme is 6 times 6 magic tricks. Abracadabra 36. The next one is 6 and 7. We're sad and blue. 6 times 7 equals 42. So 6 times 7 is 42. It's the same as 7 times 6 is 42. Our next rhyme is 6 asked 8 on a date. 6 times 8 is 48. 6 asked 8 on a date. 6 times 8 is 48. 6 times 8 is 48, so therefore 8 times 6 is also 48. Okay, so just a reminder, we have our fingers that we can count by threes when we're doing any multiplication facts with threes. So remember, you can use your fingers that way. You just have to use your fingers creatively. 3 times 6 is 18, therefore 6 times 3 is 18. Now we're going to move into our sevens. We're going to move into the sevens. We've already learned these this year in school, but to Odysseyware, it's a new fact. So we're going to go through each of these ones, and we're going to look at the ones that we already do know, and then we'll go through one by one with the ones that we maybe might struggle a little bit more with. 7 times 0 is 0, and 0 times 7 is 0. The next one is 7 times 1, which is the same as 1 times 7, and the answer is 7 because we know that anything times 1 is the other number. The next one is 7 times 2, or 2 times 7, and remember, when we're looking at 2's, you just double the other number. So you take 7 and you double the 7 and you get 7 plus 7, which is 14. All right, we're going to now look at excuse me, 7 times 3. Remember, that's the one that we just did with our fingers. We talked about our fingers and how you can use your fingernail, the joint, and then your knuckle. So 7 times 3 is 21, or 3 times 7 is 21. The next one we're going to go to that we do know for sure is 7 times 5. We've already done our 5s. And 5s are so simple. 7 times 5 is 35. 5 times 7 is 35. We just did the little rhyme that 7 times 6 and 6 times 7. Oh, I forgot to flip those around. 6 and 7 are sad and blue. 7 times 6 is 42. So we should remember that fact. And going down to 7 times 10, we just simply count by our tens. It's the same as 10 times 7, and the answer is 70. Going into some rhymes with the sevens. 4 and 7 went fishing with bait, so 4 times 7 is 28. So 4 times 7 is 28, therefore 7 times 4 is 28. The next one, 7 and 7 are feeling fine. 7 times 7 is 49. 7 and 7 are feeling fine. 7 times 7 is 49. However, we do have a way in our classroom that we remember this, which is kind of complicated, but somehow we remember it this way. A touchdown is worth 6 points, and if the football team kicks an extra point for 1, 6 plus 1 is 7, and 7 times 7 is the San Francisco 49ers, who we all know is Peyton's favorite football team, which, by the way, was his favorite team before they went to the Super Bowl. All right, here we have a little lovely stick person dancer. And when people are dancers, they have to count their steps. And they go 5, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. So 5, 6, 7, 8. If I put it in that order, 5, 6 is 56 equals 7 times 8. So 5 times 6 is, or 7 times 8 is 56, and 8 times 7 is 56. The next one is 7 times 9 we need to know, and we all do know our 9's tricks, but just to review, we count our fingers to the 7th finger. So we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we put that 7th finger down. Okay, you can see there that Mrs. Wargo attempted to put the finger down, and what that really is doing is it's showing that now we have a separation between our tens and ones. So in the tens place, there are 6 fingers. So we're going to put a 6 there that would be represented in the tens place. And now on the other side of that bent down finger, that 7th finger, we're going to count how many fingers are on the other side, which would be represented how many are in the ones place, and there are 3. So we're going to put a 3 on that 1 spot. So if I have 6 tens and 3 ones, I smush that number together and I get 63. So 7 times 9 is 63, or 9 times 7 is 63. You should all know your nines trick on your fingers. If you don't remember it, your parents aren't familiar with it, go ahead and look it up on maybe a YouTube video. If you're struggling to remember these facts, I'm going to encourage you to go to multiplication.com. You do not need a username or password for this website. It is free. When you get to the website, you're going to scroll down and you are going to find games. When you find the games section, you're going to click on the one that says multiplication so you can practice your multiplication facts. There will be a list of all kinds of different games that you can play to practice your facts. Now, I'm going to recommend that you choose games where you can choose what fact you're going to practice. For example, here, this Patty's Paints, I believe you will get to a screen where it's going to ask you what fact you want to practice. And you could choose 7s, 9s, whatever one you want to. Okay, here's another game that you would go to, and when you get to that, I think it's Cave Run, and then when you would get to it, you would click on which one you wanted to go on. So again, that's multiplication.com. I would recommend that you go to that website to practice your multiplication facts. Maybe you want to do that before you do this lesson, or you're always able to go on to Reflex Math and practice this way. Don't lose all the facts that you've worked so hard all year to memorize.